In this video, I'm going to take a look at Clay Cane and Reecie Colbert. And at first, they're going to seem like two well-meaning Democrats. But sooner than later, they're going to reveal themselves to be towing the line for the Democratic Party just like all the rest of the Democrats. They may be good people, but at the end of the day, I'm going to show you how they are hypocrites when it comes to Democratic Party politics. Stay tuned. My name is Tim Black, and this is
The Black Truth Report. The Black Truth Report. The Black Truth Report.
They're going to do something here on this segment that I haven't heard done. They're going to talk about Candace Owens in an honest way, and they're not going to kiss ass like Stephen A. Smith.
Candace Owens is really trying hard to do a rebrand.
Oh, God. What is she talking about now?
She's doing her best to try and sound logical. This is the same person who once said that the NAACP, I'm paraphrasing here, is one of the worst groups for black people, even though they helped or they assisted her in winning a lawsuit, a racial discrimination lawsuit, when she was a teenager. I believe it was over $30,000. She made some egregious comments about George Floyd and Ahmaud Arbery. I need us to not have a short memory for people who they've really said, heinous things. But in my opinion, to be terrible things about people who have lost their lives to police violence. What was that comment she made about Breonna Taylor? I want to remind people on this Juneteenth what she said about Breonna Taylor.
Yeah, she said that basically that Breonna Taylor deserved it, that her boyfriend was a drug dealer, and it was all her fault. She blamed her death on her. She played to white supremacists for years. I appreciate Clay Cane and Reecie for talking about this, because for some reason I cannot get the independent media, the whites in independent media, to talk about it. Right? Let's go.
But here are some comments she made about Trump and Iran. And I guess there are some people in the MAGA cult who are finally realizing Trump isn't good with foreign policy. We've already been here before. But here's what she's saying. So it's the rebrand. It's the rebrand. People love a rebrand. Listen to this.
So right now, the lack of consistency, it is stunning to watch Trump do this. He's all over the place right now on social media. He initially signaled right away that America had nothing to do with what happened in Iran, that America was not going to get involved, that he was negotiating peace. Then he signaled that he didn't have any idea that the attack was coming, but also that he did know that the attack was coming. And now he's tweeting we. He's literally using we to describe what is happening in Iran right now. Let's just take a look at some of these tweets. We now have complete and total control of the skies over Iran. Iran had good sky trackers and other defensive equipment and plenty of it, but it doesn't compare to American-made, conceived, and manufactured stuff. Nobody does it better than the good old USA. Oh, well, hey, yeah, we've got our planes in the skies. Okay, American troops might die, but USA, 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 because our stuff is so good and good looking in the sky. The big bad American planes are in the sky. What does he think? We're stupid? And the people online that are trying to pretend that we are the ones betraying Trump for holding him accountable to his promises that he made to us when we voted for him, when we encouraged other people to vote for him. You're pretending that we're the ones that are problematic? This level of gaslighting that's taking place. You got Laura Loomer out there saying, screenshot every tweet that's against Donald Trump. Let me tell you something, sweetheart. You better start capturing Donald Trump's tweets that are going out right now, because they seem pretty against Donald Trump's ideas of yesteryear. That's all I'm saying.
Let me say this. You don't get to wipe the slate clean after years of being loud, wrong, and harmful commentary. This is the same person that said the NRA was a civil rights group created for black folk to fight back against the KKK.
Yeah,
and they threw her on Fox News, right? She wasn't out there just having different opinions.
Yeah,
she was saying things that were factually incorrect, things that were harmful against her own people. If she identifies in that way, it was like a full-time job.
Right. All right.
So now she has this little soft rebrand, and what she said, sure, is it true? But folks been saying that. Folks been saying that. There wasn't anything groundbreaking about what she said.
Right.
But I guess that conservative check ran out, and now you want to try and have some sense. Mm-hmm. Trump is not the foreign policy guy.
No,
he pulled out of the Iran nuclear deal, which is part of the reason why we're here today. And as Victor Legrune said yesterday, what might happen if we don't go to war is Trump will basically try and reinstate another version of the Iran nuclear deal and go back to what Obama did. Like that's that. If anything sensible happens, that might be what it is, to go back to what Obama had.
Well, that's what they were. That's what they've been working on before Israel started bombing Iran. So
exactly, yeah. But we didn't have to be here.
No. 100% avoided.
We didn't have to be
100%.
And so this bullshit from her, I can recall she called Black Lives Matter a scam, and
it is.
Girl, you're the scam.
Yeah, for sure.
Both things can be true.
But
that's my problem I got with this. Like I love what they're saying about her because I agree in so many ways. She said a trailer load of garbage about us, shitting on us for 5-6 years for money. And now you're going to ignore it because she's right about that one little thing, because now she's going after Ben Shapiro. For real, that's what we're doing. But then the problem I got with Clay and Reecie is, like BLM is bullshit. Yeah, that's true, it is. Like, at this point, you still want to admit reality? If that was a Republican organization, if the Tea Party or some splinter group of it or whatever had their hand in the cookie jar the way the BLM girls did, ladies did, whatever, you'd be calling that shit out. You wouldn't be buckling and afraid to say it. You'd be like, boom. But since it's BLM, you're afraid to say it. So that's the thing, man. It's all garbage.
Outlets might platform you and whatever the case may be, but it's just kind of really silly to me. I just don't want folks. I know we forgot the horrible things Omarosa said, but I this one, she was Omarosa 2.0. Like Omarosa walked so Candace could run. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really hope that we remember.
Yeah. I think Omarosa was bad, but she wasn't, like, she was power hungry. She was like power tripping. You know, she was feeling herself because she was she backed Trump. Everybody thought Trump was going to lose. He won. And she kind of felt like, I backed the right horse.
But she also worked in the administration.
She did.
Really egregious.
She did. She did. And I, like I said, she was power hungry, but she was never like a level of insidiousness about the nature of Black people or about, like things that have happened in Black history. Like, I don't recall her saying things that are anywhere in the ballpark of Candace Owens.
That's true.
She would attack a lot of Black folks, like her stunt at the at NABJ with Ed Gordon, and she did a lot of personal attacks, really weird stuff.
She was just mean and nasty, but it was personal.
Right.
It wasn't like Black people ain't shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was just like
Candace was different.
It's like I said, a little power.
See, Omarosa attacks certain Black people. Candace attacks Blackness, and that's the difference. That's white supremacist shit. You could have critique. I had critique for Jasmine Crockett, but I love Black people, and I would defend Black people till I'm gone. To my death, I'm going to do that. But I could call out Candace Owens and call out Jasmine Crockett in the same breath. No problem. That's not the same thing as what Candace was doing. She was like, all these Black people. And she othered Black people away from her. That's what she did. And now it's Black people like Stephen A. and Charlemagne to give her a pathway back. They gave her a pathway back to a place she never was. They let her reinvent herself. Now I expect that from Andrew Scholes. He's a white guy with a deck of Irish playing cards or something. I don't even know what he is. Italian? I don't know what he is. Jewish? I don't know what he is. I really don't know. But Charlemagne was really no excuse.
Tripping thing. She's a lot more. I see her out, and she's a lot more humble now. She's a lot more demure, very mindful, very demure.
Of course she is. Of course. They all. Stacey. It's the same. It's straight from my book. If you want to get a signed copy, strandbooks.com. It's just, it's an obvious path. It doesn't really go off. Then when they get sense, a lot of folks give them credit. But how come they didn't have sense before? They knew better. They changed who they were to become someone else to get access to power. And then when that access to power goes away, then you want to start complaining and act like that you're somehow above it all when you're actually in the thick of the shit, you know?
Yeah. To be fair, it's not that I'm giving her credit, because she's definitely trying to do a rebrand, and I'm not trying to say that that's not happening. But to be fair, Donald Trump is the one who ran on America First. America ain't getting involved in other people's shit. We ain't got time for it. We only got time to worry about ourselves. Now, he's always been full of shit about that. I mean, he was the one who dropped the mother of bombs in his first term. He couldn't wait to start bombing motherfuckers when he got in there the first time. But that's not the pitch that he has made.
That's not true, man. Everybody leaned on Trump to do that. He should not have capitulated on that. He should not have capitulated on that mother of bombs, whatever. But that, to me, was him buckling to all those people he had. If he does this with Iran, it's off the table.
Americans. He's never made the pitch that we're going to be in endless wars. We're going to be doing regime changes. We're going to be doing all of these things that, you know, that a lot of Republican warmongers want to see happen. Between Donald Trump's actions and how Donald Trump positioned himself as a candidate in both campaigns, he positioned himself as an America.
Nah, he was just talking. He talked a lot of shit. He talks. But what did he do? That's the difference. He talked about doing stuff for North Korea. And actually, he's talking about Iran. He has actually done it. Once again.
Who was not interested in getting in wars and regime changes and things like that. That's how he's always positioned himself as a candidate. The reality of his conduct has shown that he will bomb the shit out of somebody.
Suspect.
Yeah, I got to call this one suspect, man. First of all, let's go. I got 5 points. 1, on the Omarosa thing. I agree. Omarosa was not as bad as Candace Owens. And I think Clay put it well when he said, you know, Omarosa walked so Candace Owens could run. That's a pretty good one. That's a good one. Yeah, she blazed the path through white supremacy for Candace Owens to come through with gangbusters. And Candace took it to the house. So, yeah, I agree with that. But I got a number 2. They said it was egregious that Omarosa worked for Trump. And this is why I got a problem. This is why I got a break with Clay and got a break with Reecie. Because in typical Democrat fashion, somehow people that work with Biden are saintly. Biden, Mr. They'll put you back in chains. Mr. If you don't vote for me, you ain't black. This guy, Mr. Crime Bill, Mr. Fingertips on everything. Every horrible piece of mass incarceration legislation in the last 40 years. Biden's name on it. And these guys got nothing bad to say about anybody who worked for Biden. Nothing. I don't hear them talking about it. I don't hear them. In fact, I don't hear them criticize the Democrats for the most part either. So that's my problem. You got all the smoke for the other side, but none for your own side. If Omarosa's egregious for working for Trump, what about everybody that worked for Biden and Obama? I would say they deserve the same amount of smoke. That's what I would say. But see, that's why I'm sitting over here. Which brings me to number 3, The Grift. Clay wrote a book called The Grift. I haven't read it. Maybe I will. Here's the deal, though, Clay. There's a grift in Democrats. You don't think there's a grift in the Democrat Party? I wonder if that's going to be present in your book. Once again, I haven't read it, but I got a feeling it's going to focus on Republicans grifting. And not so much on Democrats grifting, but I could be wrong. That's an assumption, right? Based on what you said here, if you didn't start bringing up different names, it's like you tiptoed on the line. You ain't going to want to say it. Not going to want to be honest about the grifters amongst your own people, your own circle. See, if you don't do anything except call out people on the other side of the ball, you ain't doing nothing. You grifting too, because you ain't being honest. You holding back. You playing the game your damn self. That's the problem I got. And that's why I'm out here on the island alone. And that's what brings me to number 4. Democrats, they will ostracize you if you don't fall in line. That's what's happened to me. I haven't done anything that Candace Owens has done. I've never gone against Black Americans and said, Black Americans are horrible, and Black Americans are stupid and lazy and violent, and they don't do this and they that. And what's wrong with us? Why can't we do this? Why can't we be like this people and these other people? What's the problem? And Black women, yuck. And Black men, oh my God, bullet catchers and all. I've never said anything like that. But still, I've been ostracized by the Democrats because I don't play ball with them. I don't fall in line with them. I don't vote for the people they want me to vote for. I don't support. I was there. I had an opportunity. I interviewed all these people. From Donna Brazile to Cori Bush to Jamal Bowman, all of them. But the problem was, I would not go ahead with the fall in line with the Kamala Harris crap. So with Democrats, they don't care. So the reason why Candace Owens can get her way back is because she only shitted on Black people. And that's not a deal breaker for the Democrats. You don't think I'm being honest? You don't believe me? Ask Megyn Kelly. Megyn Kelly shitted on Black people for several years on Fox News. And what was she able to do? Go right over to MSNBC and get a job. Why? Because she'd only shitted on Black people. Black people are expendable. But if you go against the Democratic Party and you don't fall in line with their anointed one, sayonara. Case closed, face closed. And last but not least, my final point. And both Clay and Reese's let me down here. They let me down, man. I'm disappointed. I don't know if I'll be able to sleep well tonight. They won't admit that both parties are, neither party is anti-war. They're both pro-war parties. That's what you got in place. Now, I'm not saying Trump is, a great guy. I'm not saying it. What I am saying, though, when it comes to war, he's a lot less war hawkish than like John McCain. He sang songs bomb Iran. Bush dragged us into an illegal war in Iraq. Democrats embrace him. Look at the new wars under Obama. Look at the Ukraine shit under Biden. They are towing the line and not going to even tell the truth on his own show. He can't say, yeah, both parties are war hungry, corrupt, because that's what they are. And that's the difference between being able to play ball on the field and having to go set up your own court. Putting that bucket in the corner of your door and shooting that sucker from within your house in the basement. That's what I'm able to do. That's all I'm able to do because I say things that are true. And I'm going to play that game where we're going to pretend that the Democrats are the party of war. And they didn't used to be, but they are now. And what you've been doing for 30 years, that's who you are. You can't pretend it's something else when that's it. You got to call a thing a thing. And these folks don't want to call it like it is. All right, guys, let me know what you think in the comment section below. I appreciate them having a conversation. But at the end of the day, if all you're doing is playing us against them, well, that ain't a game. That's not a game for Black Americans. And that's my focus. We need to play the whole game. Not for a team. Perfect. You made it to the end of the video. I appreciate you. Now, Google thinks this next video is going to be perfect for you. It's right up your alley. So click the next video, watch that with me, and let's keep this politics going. You're built for this.